What's up guys, my name is Ace, and the Season 2 Reloaded update for Modern Warfare 3 is right around the corner. It's actually coming tomorrow, and while yesterday they gave us a recap of all of the content we can expect to see for this update, I had already covered all of that on Sunday, and there wasn't really any interesting new information out of that, so didn't have a video yesterday, and then today they uploaded this small trailer just showing off the multiplayer map content we're getting for Season 2 Reloaded. So this is the remake of Haus, as well as the variant maps of Skid Row, as well as Terminal. So today I thought it would be pretty interesting to recreate the shots they had on Haus to show you guys exactly what changed here aesthetically and what this looks like before and after, while also sharing my opinions on this returning. And the big thing I noticed right away with Haus is I'm loving the aesthetics, and I definitely prefer these Modern Warfare 3 aesthetics where it's a bright sunny day in a high-rise that's under construction. There's no fog, there's no rain, there's lots of sunlight to be working with here. And also it looks like there's going to be a lot less visual clutter around the map, lots of clean lines, not a bunch of rubble and debris piled up everywhere. And for me, that's always my preference. I love clean lines. I like it when character models really pop against the background and you don't have all that visual obstruction there. So aesthetically, I'm really liking how this new version of Haus looks. But on top of this, another thing to point out is in Vanguard, we had destructibles. So many of the doorways, you had to actually like sprint through or blow up or shoot through in order to break down the wood, and then you could go through that. Or you could just break down a small version of that and shoot through small cracks. And I think this is going to change how this map plays in Modern Warfare 3 for the better. I was never a huge fan of how they handled destructible environments in Vanguard. It wasn't like a game breaker for me or anything. I would just kind of prefer to not have that. And so it's nice to see that we're going to be experiencing that in Modern Warfare 3. Also, it appears we aren't going to be having doors in this version of Haus, even though other maps in Modern Warfare 3 have doors. In this case, it looks like it's just a lot of open doorways since it is under construction currently and there are no doors yet. Again, I'm a big fan of that, and therefore I do think this version of Haus is actually going to be quite a bit better than the original version, and I think that's great because as far as small maps go, I actually really didn't mind Haus from Vanguard. Now, I did have a few issues with the map, one of the biggest one being the corner spawn locations, like on either end of the map. You would have those really common like primary spawn points with literally just a small doorway to exit through, and that was your only option to come out of spawn. That can be a little bit problematic on a small map like this, but then again, it's a small map, spawns are going to suck no matter what, I find, and it's more so about just making sure you have constant chaotic action. So in general, while our mid-season map isn't a brand new map that we've never played before, we did get 3 brand new maps for 6v6 at the launch of Season 2, which was excellent, and I really don't mind having a remake mixed in there as well. I actually think that's the perfect ratio. 3 brand new maps, 1 remade map per season. That would be absolutely ideal in my opinion, and with that in mind, I really wouldn't mind seeing a few more Vanguard maps return throughout the rest of Modern Warfare 3. And I think that's definitely a possibility. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't a fan of all of the maps in Vanguard. There were definitely a few in there that I really disliked. However, there's a good handful of maps that I thoroughly enjoyed in Vanguard and I think would play quite well in Modern Warfare 3. So I'm thinking like Bocage or Casablanca, Tuscan, and Eagle's Nest. Those would all be maps I'd be very happy to see return, alongside and mixed in with new original maps, of course. Now, in saying that, I also wouldn't mind seeing some original Modern Warfare 3 maps come to the game. Last year, the game was called Modern Warfare 2, and we didn't see any original Modern Warfare 2 maps return, so I wonder if that same trend is going to carry over with Modern Warfare 3, or if we will actually see some Modern Warfare 3 originals. In either case, I have another little topic I wanted to talk about when it comes to Haus returning, and this is the fact that they've really been bringing a lot of very small maps into Modern Warfare 3, and this seems to be following suit with them trying their best to just lean into what the community tends to want and what they tend to look for. Now for me, I've always kind of hated playing just the small map 24/7 playlists over and over again, so like Shipment 24/7 or Shoot the Ship 24/7 or Rustment 24/7. Whatever it might be, when it's just like the 1 or 2 small maps in a playlist and it's just over and over and over again, I've never really been a big fan of that. I like a bit more variety than that. And in the past, I'd basically just go to those playlists for a specific challenge. If there's one particular challenge that I just want to get over with as quickly as possible, then I will hop into that playlist for a game or two just to rattle those challenges off really quickly before returning to the regular experience with all of the 6v6 maps in rotation. But in Modern Warfare 3, especially since the launch of Season 2 and the addition of Stash House to the game, I've actually been playing that small map playlist more than I've ever played a small map playlist in the past. And I think that's just due to the fact that there's actual variety there. We've got more than just 1 or 2 maps that you're going to play over and over again, where most people are trying to get that 1 map out of the 2 anyway, so when you get the map that isn't as popular, everybody's backing out, and that just causes issues. Since Season 2 launch for Modern Warfare 3, and we've actually got 4 maps in that small map rotation, I think that's great, and I think Das Haus would be an excellent addition, and I hope that's the route they decide to go with. I really want to see them just keep that small map mosh pit playlist and just keep adding small maps to it as time goes on, as long as they're also still adding regular size maps, like medium to slightly larger maps in regular rotation. Like, I don't want all of the future maps to just be tiny, tiny maps, and that's like the whole game is just tiny maps. I just like the fact that they have been adding a good amount of those, because that's clearly what many of the people in the community tend to lean toward, with how popular those small map playlists tend to be. And that's just something I really like about what Sledgehammer's been doing this year. It seems like they're looking at what the community tends to lean toward and what they tend to like, and then they lean into that. Whereas in previous years, I've always thought it was really weird when you'd see that obviously the community would lean heavily toward these smaller or small to medium sized maps, and yet for a lot of the post-launch maps, they'd be like massive, really large maps that people just didn't like playing. And that just often felt like they were out of touch with what the community really wanted to see. So props to Sledgehammer for that. I think they've been doing a great job with a lot of their post-launch support. Not saying this game's perfect and without issues. It definitely still has its issues that need to be worked on. But in general, it seems like they're taking a good community-oriented approach with a lot of the decisions they've been making this year. And speaking of that, there's one last thing I wanted to point out. After looking at these comparisons with the original Das Haus and Vanguard versus the new one, and the fact that the original was dark and foggy and rainy and just kind of gross, whereas the new one's so bright and vibrant and looks like a place I want to be, I would love for them to create an update for Shipment. I think that could go a long way. If they took literally the exact same Shipment map that we've currently got, don't change any assets on it whatsoever, but just change it to a sunny daytime version of that same map. I mean, right now, we're playing literally the exact same Shipment we played last year. And it seems many people haven't been a huge fan of that dark, rainy, depressing version of Shipment, and yet that's kind of what we're stuck with. And I can't imagine it would be extremely resource intensive or extremely difficult to just create a daytime version of Shipment, again, without even changing any of the assets on the map. Literally just change it to daytime, and I think that could go a long way in the eyes of the community, at least, since Shipment is still probably the most popular map in the game. Now, of course, all of these are just my opinions, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about all of this in those comments down below. Like, first off, what are you guys thinking about the new version of Das Haus compared to the old version? Do you like the fact that this new one is a lot more bright and sunny without all that rubble and stuff all over the place? Also, how would you guys feel about some more Vanguard maps returning in future seasons as the remade versions? Are there any Vanguard maps you'd like to see return, or would you rather them focus on something else for remastered maps? And then finally, how would you guys feel about a daytime version of the current Shipment that we're playing? Do you think that would be a nice update and a nice refresh to just give us a bit of a change of scenery? Or do you like it as is? Do you want them to just keep it nighttime, rainy, and dark? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.